This is the Big Machine Cody Hawkins, and you're watching WGS-TV.
Welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer and ZFX-TV. I'm Billy Boudreaux, and this is going to be my Impact Wrestling review for the week of July 20th, 2012. We open up with the show again, guys. This week is Open Fight Night. This edition of Impact Wrestling is Open Fight Night, so Cowboy James Storm comes out and calls out Kurt Angle, and what we get is aces and eights. And I'm calling TNA out on this. I mean, we had the opportunity for a really good, epic match with James Storm and Kurt Angle. And they teased it, and all they did was have Kurt Angle get beat up by aces and eights. Now, I will admit, so far this Aces and Eights gimmick, this storyline, has got me intrigued. You know, because it reminds me so much of the NWO from WCW. It reminds me so much of that gimmick. But, I will admit, I am intrigued. But I really wanted to see James Storm and Kurt Angle. I really wanted to see that match. And TNA just teased it, like, we're going to dangle this golden carrot right in front of you, but we're not going to let you have it. And I'm like, oh, come on, guys, think about it. How epic would it have been to open up TNA with James Storm versus Kurt Angle? A legit match. And TNA teases us with it. It was just a big tease. It was like, yeah, it looked like we were going to give it to you, but we're not. I really want that to happen. But again, Aces and Eights is an intriguing storyline, and, well, you're going to hear me say that throughout the duration of this commentary. As far as this opening segment goes, I would give it 4.5 out of 5, since it was Storm, Angle, and Aces and Eights. The fact that they teased a really great match and they did not deliver, it only gets a 4 out of 5. Next up, we had Samoa Joe calling out the Pope D'Angelo De Niro. And I'm like, oh my God, do we have to relive the horrid, long, drawn-out feud between Samoa Joe and the Pope? Do we really have to go back through that history again? I mean, the storyline was stupid to begin with, and now we're gonna relive it in a call-out between Joe and the Pope? Give me a break. Now, I will admit, that match was really good. It was a lot better than anything I've ever seen from Samoa Joe and the Pope. Samoa Joe got a submission victory. Before this night started, Cowboy James Storm was ahead in the Bound for Glory series, and now one submission victory later for Samoa Joe, he has retaken the lead by 1 point, I believe. But Samoa Joe is, at this time, currently at the top of the Bound for Glory series. Now, I've yet to check the updated standings, but from Impact Wrestling's standpoint, Samoa Joe is the top of the leaderboard. Next up, it looked like Jeff Hardy was going to call out somebody. Samoa Joe and the Pope, by the way, I'm going to go 3.5 out of 5. I'm going to go 3 out of 5 because, it was a long, drawn-out storyline I really didn't care for, but they kind of made the match interesting. Next up, Jeff Hardy. It looked like Jeff Hardy was going to call out somebody, and then he gets interrupted by Robbie E. Apparently, Robbie E. was going to call out Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's got the freakiest face paint ever. That's more freaky than Sting's Insane Icon face paint. That's saying something. Because I think Jeff Hardy's face paint is deliberate. I really don't know what else to say about that. But face paint withstanding, Robbie and Jeff Hardy, it kind of looked like a no-brainer at first that Jeff Hardy was going to go over on Robbie E. Because I don't see Robbie E. being pushed for a main event World Heavyweight title match anytime soon. Since his gimmick is a blatant rip-off of Zack Ryder's and the Jersey Shores. But then again, anybody can rip off a really lame show like the Jersey Shore. Yes, you heard me right. I said the Jersey Shore is a really lame show. Haters, bring it. But, as this match goes, Jeff Hardy was going to be distracted by Robbie T. I kind of saw that coming. And then when he went outside to start battling with them, I just knew what was going to happen next. Count out. And that's what happened. And Robbie E. scores his first 5 points in the Bound for Glory series. I really don't know what else to say except I gotta go 3 out of 5. It was a little lame and a little predictable, to be honest with you. I gotta be honest. That's why I do my reviews like this. I have to be honest with the way I felt about the match. You know, you're not going to get me lying or saying, oh, this match was good when it's not. No. This is brutally honest reviews. And I got to be brutally honest about the Robbie E. Jeff Hardy match. It was lame. It was lame and predictable. Next up, it was our time for our gut check contestant for this month, Sam Shaw. Now, when I heard that name, Sam Shaw, it sounded like a really familiar name. Like I've heard that name somewhere before. I've yet to look more into Mr. Shaw and everything he's done. But that name really did ring a bell to me because I could have sworn I've heard that name somewhere before. But instead of getting a gut check contestant, we get Aces and Eights beating him down. Yes, the second appearance of the Aces and Eights, and occurs during the gut check contestant time. I really don't know why. Now, yeah, I'm still intrigued by this gimmick, by the Aces and Eights. I'd like to know where this storyline is going. I mean, they've targeted Hulk Hogan, they went after Sting, they went after Kurt Angle, but now a relative new name, Sam Shaw, in the gut check contestant time? I don't really understand that. It kind of got me confused. I mean, they're going after big name stars. Now they're going after a relative rookie in TNA. So I'd like to know the direction this storyline is going. That's why I'm so intrigued, because you know it's so similar to the NWO. It's so similar to that gimmick, but we just don't know the driving direction of the Aces and Eights. We don't know who's behind the wheel. We don't know the passengers in this gimmick of sorts, and we just don't know, you know, what's their destination, what's their primary objective in the storyline. Well, so far that primary objective is to beat everybody up. But you know, at this point, I'm still a little bit confused as to where they're going with this. At this point, you know, going after Sam Shaw in the gut check contestant time. It's intriguing yet confusing. That's the way I got to put it. 3.5 out of 5. Next up, Mr. Anderson calls out a man that he respects. You know, you said last time, you know, there was open fight night, he called out an extreme douchebag in Daniels, and that's, believe it or not, that's the way his gimmick is going. Is he's a douchebag. But now he's going to call a man he respects more than anybody, and that's AJ Styles, and they put on a really, really good match. I thought it was a great match between these two guys. This could be main event at any pay-per-view, Anderson and AJ Styles. I got to go 4 out of 5, and Anderson gets the win. Great match. Can't say anything bad about it, to be honest with you. Can't say anything bad about Anderson and AJ Styles. Now, next up we had RVD calls out Daniels, who still has that appletini. what in the world does this Apple Teeny thing have to do with Daniel's new gimmick? I really don't understand that. You know, maybe it's just me, but I just don't understand the Apple Teeny gimmick. I mean, what is an Apple Teeny? Can anybody really tell me that? Because I am not a drinker at all, period. I'm kind of like CM Punk. I'm straight edge. You know, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. So I really don't know what an Apple Teeny is. So if you guys can really enlighten me as to what that is, I would be greatly appreciated. But back to Daniels and RVD. Just like Anderson and AJ Styles, I really can't think of anything bad to say about this match. I thought it was really good. Of course, Daniels pulling off the usual heel thing, you know, covers RVD with his foot on the ropes for extra leverage and gets the win and steals 7 points from RVD. So I'm going to go 4 out of 5 because again, it was just as good as Anderson and AJ Styles. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, were you saying Daniels and RVD was a good match? Daniels cheated. How can you?" Guys, I'm looking at it from my perspective. You know, I'm not a mark into the show. I objectively review each match, and Daniels and RVD was an entertaining match. Just wanted to get that out there in case there's somebody out there who wants to put a comment saying that, "Oh, you're a Daniels fan. You know, you're a mark and stuff like that." No. Now, if you're new to my channel, you really don't know that much about me. Next up, we have Bully Ray and Magnus. They were the last two people who haven't been called out in the open fight night. So, of course, they gotta have a match. Bound for Glory series. So, good match between these two guys. Yeah, I can't believe I said that. A good match, a singles match involving Bully Ray. By the way, just a quick side note, I gotta say this about Bully Ray. He looks to be in the best shape I've ever seen in his career. I mean, he started out his career quite big, guys, well into the 300-pound range. And now he looks to be in really phenomenal shape. Probably the best shape he's ever been in his entire career. So, I just wanted to get that out the way, because Bully Ray, you know, whatever his secret is, it's working for him. You know, whatever diet is, you know, diet and physical regimen that he's on, it's really, really working for him. And it's got something to do with his calves, because apparently that's the main focal point of his, well, one of the main focal points, not the main focal points, but one of the focal points of his career is his calves. You know, well, they started doing that a little bit, but they kind of laid off of it, and, you know, they're kind of saving it for when they do TNA's Backstage Passing on their YouTube channel. But, back to this match, they say probably one of the best ones for last. I said that again. But Bully Ray and Magnus, great match. Glad to see Bully Ray not involved with Joseph Park or Abyss. You know, finally they're starting to use him in the Bound for Glory series properly. 4 out of 5, Bully Ray scores his first points in the Bound for Glory series, defeating Magnus. So, and utilizing the cutter. Thank you, TNA. And then next up, we had Bobby Roode calling out Austin Aries, and, you know, we had a really good matchup up until the point where, yet again, for the third time in the night, we get an appearance by the Aces and Eights. Now, at first, they beat down Austin Aries, and then we get the feeling that Roode set this up. That Bobby Roode is the driving force behind the Aces and Eights. Then we stand corrected, because Bobby Roode gets beat up just as bad as Austin Aries from the Aces and Eights. So with no authority figure for this edition of Impact Wrestling, there was nobody to stop Aces and Eights from rampaging over everybody. So now let's take a look at the list of victims from the Aces and Eights. Maybe we can kind of get an idea of sorts as to where this is going. I mean, they went after Sting, they went after Hulk Hogan, Kurt Angle, Sam Shaw, Austin Aries, and now Bobby Roode. Yeah, no clue. No clue, guys. No clue at all. So, I can't wait to see what they do on next week's edition of Impact Wrestling. As far as this last match goes, of sorts, I'm going to go 4 out of 5. I really want to see a legitimate finish, but with TNA starting to, I guess, really invest heavily into this Aces and Eights storyline, because, you know, it is an intriguing storyline. It's something new, sort of, you know. Again, the reason why I say sort of, I already mentioned it in this commentary. It reminds me so much of the NWO and everything they did in WCW. So, overall score for this week's Impact Wrestling, let's go 3.5 out of 5 if I have to average it out. I know I really wanted to see James Storm and Kurt versus Kurt Angle, you know, but TNA teased it, and I really don't think that was right. But just, you know, like I said earlier already, you know, the Aces and Eights storyline, TNA is probably really investing a lot into this storyline, and, you know, to see where it goes, and, you know, it's got a lot of fans' attention. It's got my attention for sure. Samoa Joe retakes the lead in the Bound for Glory series with a submission victory over the Pope. One thing I want to quickly note here before I conclude my review for this Impact Wrestling is that TNA has now picked up Chavo Guerrero. Yes, Chavito Heat. Chavo Guerrero is in TNA Wrestling, where I honestly believe he can be properly utilized. What were they doing with him in the WWE? They had him feud with Sin Cara, well, for one match only. But before that, the only thing we really saw him doing, feuding with Hornswoggle. Chavo shouldn't have been feuding with a midget. They should have had him in title matches, or at least bring back the Cruiserweight title. But I believe Impact Wrestling, he can be properly utilized. Unless TNA has a secret leprechaun that we're not aware of. So, what I want to know from you guys, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Impact Wrestling this week. Do you agree with my rating of a 3.5 out of 5? Or do you have a different rating? And if so, please tell me what it is in the comment section below and why. Also, don't forget to like and favorite this video. And don't forget to check out youtube.com/WrestleGamer. Please subscribe. Also subscribe to youtube.com/ZFXTV Network and ZFX Fame. Also, don't forget to check out my buddy DJ Yoles on youtube.com/TheFinalTapout. So with that being said, I'm Double B Billy Boudreaux saying thank you very much for watching.